Good morning, everybody. Welcome. I'd like to take a page from Melissa Terrell's book. We'll see her today. Welcome to Pacific Unitarian Place. Having said that, I'm going to jump ahead to an announcement because there's been a lot of talk about our renaming this church. And of course, we have a committee. But there's going to be a chance for you to come and give your own input, listen to the input of others, and give your own input on what you would like the name to be changed to, if you want it changed at all. So one opportunity is on Saturday the 30th at 10 a.m., if that works for you. And if that doesn't work for you, then Sunday the 31st after church, we'll meet again. So yeah, come give your thoughts. So going back to where I was. I'm Darcy Carroll. I'm your worship associate for today. We represent progressive religious thought and good trouble here in the South Bay. And we also welcome our online viewers at home. We still have those folks too. And so the wonderful Michael Eselun is here with us today. I'm going to give tell you a little bit about Michael in just a second. So this is a place where we can join together, having different beliefs, races, lifestyles, sexual orientations, and gender identities. Everyone is welcome. And you know why? Because we come here to be our better selves. If you're visiting for the first time, we're especially happy, and we want you to know that we have religious exploration for the school-age kids and childcare for the little ones. As always, we serve a lovely lunch on the patio right after the service. If it is your first time here, it's free of charge. And for everyone else, we have a suggested donation of $5. However, nobody will be turned away for lack of funds. Always, we like to remember that we're on the Tongva land too, Tongva tribe, or an indigenous tribe, and we appreciate them and we remember. So Michael Eselun serves as the chaplain for the Sims-Mann UCLA Center for Integrative Oncology. He's a two-time TEDx speaker, and he speaks extensively to healthcare professionals, patient populations, sorry for that person, and faith communities across the country. Long-serving as adjunct faculty at the Wiesenthal Center and the Museum of Tolerance, he's also worked as an activist and an educator, addressing anti-LGBTQ bias in the larger community well over 30 years. Sad to say we're needing that more than ever right now. Michael was recently inducted into the UCLA Semel Institute of Eudaimonia Society in recognition for having lived a meaning-driven life. He has 4 volumes of CDs available for purchase, and you can contact him through his website, michaeleselun.com, and his CDs are out that door. So, also, today we have Becca. Where are you? There you are, Becca. You could raise your hand or stand up even. Becca Estrada is the Southern California Director for CIPL, and that stands for California Interfaith Power and Light. She has a table set up right outside the door. You probably saw it coming in, with a lot of resources for climate issue. And we're going to be singing our, what's that, welcome table song? I have a mental. We're going to sit at the welcome table, a song that we all know, have sung so many times. So, climate table, Michael's table with some CDs, and also Barbara Paulson has a table set out there. And so, raise your hand if you already know what's going to be happening on September 20th. Anybody know? Yes, people know. That's our auction. That's our auction, September 20th from 5 to 8 p.m. It's our biggest fundraiser, other than the pledge drive. It's our biggest fundraiser, and last year we raised over $15,000. It's a party night. It's fun. It's exciting. There's free food. There's 3 parts to the auction. The silent auction, and that is lunches, dinners, picnics, parties, entertainments, trips, lessons, services, wonderful items. And then there's a live auction. That's a choice of what the sermon, you can choose what the sermon the pastor will do. And also they auction off the pastor's parking place, a choice place, and also delivery of a food item. And the third part of the auction is the raffle. And that people donate baskets of goodies or all kinds of things, gift certificates for restaurants, massages, etc. So Barbara or one of her committee pals is going to be at that table every Sunday from now through September, and she can help you plan whatever you want to donate, and give you information. You can look through old catalogs for more ideas. Also, buy advertising for your business if you have one. Okay, so that's it for, okay, appropriately, we'll now sing the opening hymn. Oh, sorry, I got out of order. And here's Michael.
Good morning. As a call to worship this morning, I'd like to offer this poem by William Blake. It is right, it should be so. Man was made for joy and woe, and when this we rightly know, through the world we safely go. Joy and woe are woven fine, a clothing for the soul divine. Under every grief and pine runs a joy with silken twine. William Blake reminds us that under every grief and pine runs a joy with silken twine. In a way, our faith community here is that silken twine, weaving each of our individual threads into a cloth that just might keep us warm enough to find our way. So we light the chalice this morning to symbolize that warmth and the guidance that can come from that sacred cloth. Please rise as you are willing and able and join me in singing our opening hymn, number 407. We're going to sit at the welcome table.
We're gonna sit at the welcome table. We're gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days. Hallelujah. We're gonna sit at the welcome table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days. All kinds of people around that table. All kinds of people around that table one of these days. Hallelujah. All kinds of people around that table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days. No fancy style at the welcome table. No fancy style at the welcome table one of these days. Hallelujah. No fancy style at the welcome table. Gonna sit at the welcome table one of these days.
Told ya. So now Haven Perez, our religious exploration director, will come up and give you a wonderful story.
Well, today is going to be a video.
Okay.
And all the children and young people want to come up here with me, so I'll sit so long.
Welcome to Book Root Readings, your channel for classic, nature, and living children's books. Click the subscribe button to be notified of new readings. Enjoy the story.
Extra Yarn by Mac Barnett, illustrated by John Klassen. For Stephen Malk, M.B. For Mom, J.K. On a cold afternoon, in a cold little town, where everywhere you looked was either the white of snow or the black of soot from chimneys, Annabelle found a box filled with yarn of every color. So she went home and knit herself a sweater, and when Annabelle was done, she had some extra yarn. So she knit a sweater for Mars too, but there was still extra yarn. And when Annabelle and Mars went for a walk, Nate pointed and laughed and said, "Ha ha, you two look ridiculous,"
You're just jealous.
said Annabelle. "No, I'm not," said Nate. But it turned out he was. And even after she'd made a sweater for Nate and his dog, and for herself, and for Mars, she still had extra yarn. At school, Annabelle's classmates could not stop talking about her sweater. "Quiet!" shouted Mr. Norman. "Quiet, everyone! Annabelle, that sweater of yours is a terrible distraction. I cannot teach with everyone turning around to look at you,"
Then I'll knit one for everyone,
Annabelle said.
so they won't have to turn around.
"Impossible," said Mr. Norman. "You can't." But it turned out she could, and she did, even for Mr. Norman. And when she was done, Annabelle still had extra yarn. So she knit sweaters for her mom and dad, and for Mr. Pendleton, and Mrs. Pendleton, and for Dr. Palmer, and for little Louis. She made sweaters for everyone, except Mr. Crabtree, who never wore sweaters or even long pants, and who would stand in his shorts with the snow up to his knees. "No sweater for me, thanks," said Mr. Crabtree. So she made Mr. Crabtree a hat, and even then, Annabelle still had extra yarn. She made sweaters for all the dogs, and all the cats, and for other animals too. Soon, people thought, soon Annabelle will run out of yarn. But it turned out she didn't. So Annabelle made sweaters for things that didn't even wear sweaters. Things began to change in that little town. News spread of this remarkable girl who'd never ran out of yarn, and people came to visit from around the world to see all the sweaters and to shake Annabelle's hand. One day, an archduke who was very fond of clothes sailed across the sea and demanded to see Annabelle. "Little girl," said the archduke, "I would like to buy that miraculous box of yarn, and I am willing to offer you $1 million.
No, thank you.
Said Annabelle, who was knitting a sweater for a pickup truck. The Archduke's mustache twitched. $2 million, he said. Annabelle shook her head.
No, thanks.
10 million, shouted the Archduke. Take it or leave it,
Leave it.
said Annabelle.
I won't sell the yarn.
And she didn't. So that night, the Archduke hired 3 robbers to break into Annabelle's house, and they stole the box.
and took it to the Archduke, who set off across the snow and sailed over the sea. Back to his castle. The Archduke put on his favorite song and sat in his best chair. Then he took out the box and he lifted its lid and he looked inside. His mustache quivered, it shivered, it trembled. The Archduke hurled the box out the window and shouted, "Little girl, I curse you with my family's curse. You will never be happy again." But it turned out she was.
Let's sing out the children.
over you and seep inside. It may be that when we no longer know what to do, we have come to our real work. And that when we no longer know which way to go, we've come to our real journey. The mind that is not baffled is not employed. The impeded stream is the one that sings. Please remain seated as we sing our centering hymn, number 400.
This is a very, very ancient and meaningful Hebrew text. It translates to hello, friends, bye-bye.
Shalom Haverim, Shalom, Shalom, Lehitrot, Lehitrot, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim, Shalom, Shalom, Lehitrot, Lehitrot, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim, Shalom, Shalom, Lehitrot, Lehitrot, Shalom, Shalom, Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim, Shalom, Shalom, Lehitrot, Lehitrot, Shalom, Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim, Shalom, Shalom, Lehitrot, Lehitrot, Shalom, Shalom, Haverim, Shalom, Haverim, Shalom, Shalom, Lehitrot, Lehitrot, Shalom, Shalom.
The reading this morning is by Parker J. Palmer, and it's called Everything Falls Away. Sooner or later, everything falls away. You, the work you've done, your successes, large and small, your failures too. Those moments when you were light, along those moments when you were one with the night. The friends, the people you loved, who loved you, those who might have wished you ill, none of this is forever. All of it is soon to go or going or long gone. Everything falls away, except the thread you followed unknowing all along, the thread that strings together all you've been and done, the thread you didn't know you were tracking until toward the end. You see that the thread is what stays as everything else falls away. Follow that thread as far as you can, and you'll find that it does not end, but weaves into the unimaginable vastness of life. Your life was never the solo turn it seemed to be. It was always part of the great weave of nature and humanity. And immensity we come to know only as we follow our own small threads to the place where they merge with the boundless whole. Each of our threads runs its course, then joins in life together this magnificent tapestry, this masterpiece in which we live forever. As an oncology chaplain, sometimes when I'm getting acquainted with a patient for the first time, I will often ask, tell me, what's a perfect day look like for you? Before you got sick, you don't have to work, you're feeling pretty good. What would that day be? My intention is to find out in a simple and easy way what floats their boat. Where do they get their juice in life? Where do they find meaning? And it can often be a revealing answer. Although sometimes I admit I do sit in judgment when someone fumbles for an answer. Oh, I don't know, watching TV, I guess. Carl was newly diagnosed with lung cancer in his early 40s. He took no time at all to respond. Oh, watching my son play soccer and then taking him out for an ice cream. That answer reveals so much, doesn't it? A few years ago, I had a patient, Casey, who gave me a little holiday gift. It was a teeny spool of thread wrapped up in a poem written by William Stafford. The poem's called The Way It Is. There's a thread you follow. It runs among things that change, but it doesn't change. People wonder about what you are pursuing. You have to explain about the thread, but it's hard for others to see. While you hold it, you can't get lost. Tragedies happen, people get hurt or die. You suffer and grow old. Nothing you do can stop time's unfolding. You don't ever let go of the thread. Such a wonderfully succinct summation, isn't it? And what a sweet, tender gift she gave me. Carl had no trouble at all identifying his thread. Would you? What would yours be? The older I get, the more my story unfolds, I find myself wondering if it's really as simple as all that. Is it as clean as all that? Is that thread really unbreakable? Is it really unchanging? I thought I had a good grip on it, but then divorce happened, or cancer, or bankruptcy, or Parkinson's disease, or the career that seemed to define me, it vanished. Do I have to find a new thread now, or redefine the old one? Or is it enough to simply have faith in the idea that the damn thread exists in the first place? If it does exist, and I'd like to believe that it does, it can be an arduous process of distillation to drill down and identify it, I find. A process that can take years, if not decades. That kind of spiritual distillation, if you will, is a challenge that confronts so many on the cancer journey, I find. That if I can no longer be, do, or have what I once was, who would I even be then? Do I even exist? If I'm no longer the super mom who never misses a soccer game or a birthday party, am I even still the mom? Still, while I have a good grip on that thread, it can serve as a kind of guy wire, a stabilizing force for us in stormy times. But I'm also wondering if it might be conceptualized not just as a thread to run through our life or beneath our life, but what about a thread to wrap around our life, to hold it together, to give it some coherence, to help us find a place for all the disparate pieces of our puzzle, a puzzle that might have to be arranged and rearranged time and again because life simply demands it. But still, it's a challenge to drill down and identify it. My sister Terry was a pioneer in women's surfing in the 60s and 70s, competing at the national level. She even co-produced and co-directed the first professional women's surfing championship in 1975, the Hang 10 Invitational in Malibu. She's 76 years old now, and she still loves to surf. though it grieves her, as you might imagine, that she can't do everything she once could, or certainly not as easily. She told me that not long ago she bumped into an old surfing chum from back in the day at the beach, and they were reflecting on this state of affairs, such as it is. And he said, "You know, Tare, what I came to realize, it was always just about getting wet." I love that. I thought it was about thrills and big waves and winning and competition, but maybe it was just about getting wet. That's distillation. As an old former professional dancer, I come face to face with the very same challenge every Saturday in dance class, coming right up to the limitations of a body that will not do what it once did. It's not easy. But a few years ago, I came to a different relationship with those limitations that has everything to do with essence. I have never seen a dance performance that knocked me in the gut with more power, more intensity than Donna McKechnie in the original Broadway production of A Chorus Line at the Schubert Theater, New York City, 1976. That was some kind of heady experience for this 21-year-old aspiring professional dancer from Los Angeles on his first trip to New York. Kind of transcendent, actually. Well, a number of years ago, Donna performed at an AIDS benefit here in Los Angeles. She was maybe in her 60s at the time. She'd put on quite a bit of weight, and she wore this big flowing caftan-like gown. She offered a highly truncated version of her tour de force from A Chorus Line, The Music and the Mirror. Oh, there were echoes of the original choreography, remnants here and there, an arm gesture hitting a line, the flick of a head. I sat in my seat and just sobbed. Not out of sadness for what was lost or what was missing, but crying at the unmistakable beauty of essence, of her essence, an essence that might have even been camouflaged once upon a time by her youth and agility. In some ways, it was a more potent, more meaningful performance than had she been soaring across that stage at the Schubert in that red dress in front of that bank of mirrors. Distillation. I'd been told that Keith had been a brilliant architect, but when I met him months after his glioblastoma diagnosis, that brain tumor had robbed him of all that brilliance. He found it hard to compose a coherent sentence. Still, he loved to see me every week. So we would meet for an hour. Hard to have a conversation, but there was one sentence he used quite readily and easily. "I'm sorry. I'm sorry." As if his whole identity had been distilled down to a sense of apology for not being who he once was, for not being able to do what he once could, to not be able to communicate so clearly. I finally had to say, "Keith, one rule in here, no apology. No, I'm sorry. We can spend this hour any way you like. We can sit in silence and meditate. We can take hands and look at each other. We can pray. We can try to talk. But no, I'm sorry. This has to be one place where you don't feel like you're letting yet one other person down. Certainly not me." I never got to know him in the context of his brilliance. And yet I kind of fell in love with the guy, with the sweetness of his smile and this tender heart and gentle spirit. This smile and this tender heart and gentle spirit.